Coming up.
I just want to shake some sense into you kids.
And indeed, we are back to shake some sense into you kids. It is us, the pissed off Gen Xers. It is I, your host, J.Ishiro, author and...
Your mic is muted.
Huh?
No,
Your
his
mic
mic
is
is
muted.
I can hear him.
I can hear him. He
Really?
sounds
That's
far
weird.
away. He sounds
Yeah.
far away, but I can hear him.
Really? Give me a second.
There you go. Now you're better. It was weird. I could only hear you down the hall.
Where were we?
Cat?
Yes, much better.
For some reason, the mic defaulted over to the camera.
Oh, I hate that shit.
I hate that too. Well, let's try that again. It is us, the pissed off Gen Xers, and now we are back to again slap some shit into you, slap some sense into you. I'm J.Ishiro, author and Alien in a Human Suit, and with me, as always, is
Yeah.
come on, okay. Big tits, booze lady.
Well, they can't see my tits, so I'm not really the boob lady right now. I'm now more the avatar with glasses. But hi, everybody. I'm the night editor. I can turn on the camera if people really want to see my tits. In fact, right now I'm wearing my Bitches Love Canon shirt that Ishii made for me.
I need to see this shirt, Cat. I have to.
Okay. Please forgive me. I am probably not fit for camera, but I'm turning it on anyway.
We can
Okay.
barely see you.
I know you can. I gotta rotate. So anyway. So
wow.
here's my Bitches Love Canon shirt.
I love that shirt. That is gorgeous.
Yeah, Ishii made it for me. I've also got it as a sticker on the back of my car.
Oh my god, that is beautiful. I love that. Your husband is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Get that bitch a cannon, because bitches love cannons.
I'm Janelle. I make alcohol. And yeah. That's all I've got.
I'm RALTS. I sit around and do jack shit all day.
You also torture players.
Yes. Because why not?
Oh wait, did something happen on Sunday?
What
No.
didn't?
God.
Well, you said torture players, and I immediately was like, "Oh God, what did he put them through on Sunday during D&D?"
We were discussing how, by sheer fucking luck. Okay, I'm heading down a hallway in this dungeon that we're crawling, and I'm not giving a shit. I just walk out into the middle of a T section, and on both sides there's guys with crossbows.
Oh shit!
And I seriously thought I was gonna die. And his rolls, luckily, were shit.
Oh, they were terrible.
And I only got hit by one bolt on that run, and the damage on it was like almost nothing. And
It's a flesh wound.
Yep. So it was the duck out immediately, firefight, run back in. It was a Han Solo moment.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Trista stepped out and took three. She didn't take any from the ones she was facing, but she took 3 in the ass.
Oh,
and
ow.
then she cut loose with that wand of fireballs, and that was the end of that shit.
Oh man, it sounds
I
like
don't
you
care
guys
if it's
had
low
a
on charges.
great
Fuck you
Sunday.
guys.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
The map frustrated the fuck out of me till I reboot my computer and switched browsers.
While you guys were having fun in Dungeons and Dragons, Steve and I were indulging Chris's new obsession with Beavis and Butthead.
Good choice.
Very good choice.
Good
Oh,
choice.
he is hooked. In fact, so Kat and Ishi for my birthday sent me a cornholio plaque to put in the bathroom, and Chris said that we shouldn't put it in the guest bathroom because if people laugh, they might miss the toilet.
There's logic.
So it's gonna
Yeah.
go. It's gonna go in the back bathroom for us. But no, he told us he doesn't know what to make of Beavis and Butthead. He knows it. He shouldn't like it because it reminds him of school. But they are so stupid. It is the most amazing thing he's ever seen.
It's
I
mirroring
saw-
life, and that's why it's funny.
I saw somebody go, I don't know what kind of statement this is trying to make or what kind of, or what it's supposed to mean. You know, it's just, it's just two kids doing stupid stuff. Everybody's like, these kids are the ultimate latchkey kids. Their parents left years ago. They've got no father in the picture. Their mothers ran off, and they've been by themselves for years. And everybody who should have stepped in, the neighbors, the school, the counselors, the police, have all let them fall through the cracks. What kind of statement is it? Boomers didn't give two fucks about their kids.
Not only that, it takes place in Texas, so things are even more insane.
The other thing is tell them that this is a reflection on mommy's generation.
Yeah.
No, he knows that already. He's like, did you guys really do stuff like this? And
Yes.
Steve and I were just like, no, of course not.
I never did frog baseball because I was always nice to animals, and I didn't like animals getting hurt.
Oh, but I lit shit on fire. Why
Yeah.
not? I was bored.
Constantly lighting shit on fire, throwing beer bottles at walls.
Photocopying dollars and trying to buy shit with it.
Wetting paper towels and throwing it on the ceiling of the bathroom in the school.
Oh yeah.
I didn't work at fast food, but all the rest of my friends did. So yeah, there's the fast food part too.
All of that's real.
Mhm.
Okay.
No, and I never did frog baseball either. I just,
Nah.
lit a lot of shit on fire.
But yeah, the stupid, risky behavior and acting like morons. Totally. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, totally normal.
You remember the episode they had to ban because they were sniffing the gas from a stove?
Yeah.
They banned that one, but they didn't ban the one where they were taking roadkill off the street, putting it in the fryer, and then serving it with fries to the people in drive-through.
There was also the one where they stuck a cactus up Stuart's butt.
Oh yeah, not only did they stick a cactus up his butt, then they hung him off a coat rack and put rubbing alcohol and sandpaper down there, and then stuck a blender in his underwear to see what would happen.
All right. So, as the title promised, this is another Tim Pool Said Stupid Shit episode. And, I think it's a public service to kind of help a lot of you out there who wouldn't commonly know about this stuff and don't really know what to make when Tim starts saying this stupid shit. But fortunately, we have an expert who played with nukes.
Yes.
So, here's some stuff.
Tim doesn't know who I am, Barwin Studios, because I be telling him to take that fucking hat off for fuck's sake. He looks like a moron.
He kind of does.
He does.
Embrace the baldness, man. It's okay.
Well,
Just
no,
go
you're
full
going bald,
Picard.
dumbass.
All right, here we go.
Russia has said that if the U.S. enters the war, Russia will enter the war on the side of Iran. And this is the next step. NATO on World War III alert as key Russian ally tests tactical nukes in major boost to Putin. The lethal rocket can travel up to 500 kilometers, 311 miles, and is able to carry payloads between 480 and 700 kilograms. Here we go, baby. NATO countries were put on a red alert yesterday after Belarus announced it would be carrying out drills with its Russian tactical nuclear weapons in a major boost to Vladimir Putin. The exercises follow a stark warning by the Kremlin that tensions between Russia and the West were reaching critical mass and could explode. That's funny, isn't it? Last year, Russia moved some of its tactical nuclear weapons into Belarus, which also borders Ukraine, and NATO members Poland and Latvia and Lithuania. Part of the consignment of weapons included Iskander short-range ballistic missiles capable of carrying nuclear warheads.
Should I play the next one?
God.
I'll borrow one. The difference is I actually would tell him to take the beanie off because he looks dumb. Because I don't know him and I don't care about him. But they didn't test tactical nuclear weapons. They tested the rocket system. Now, on this hand, I'm going to give it to Tim Pool. He is simply following what they say that, oh, they tested tactical nuclear weapons. No, they tested the delivery system. That's different. And, oh, God, it's testing a delivery system is not that big a deal. And they're like, oh, the tensions are reaching critical mass and might explode. Yeah, okay, that is kind of funny. But it's not that alarmist shit. I mean, it's not like they're moving Ninth Guards into the Gap or down to the plains. It's just the standard. It's testing the rocket system is just your basic, okay, we're going to threaten to go to war. We'll go out and we'll test our delivery system. The one they're testing is meh. It's old. It's not. It's just an upgraded Scud. But yeah, it's just an upgraded Scud. And so far there's nothing really. He's just parroting what they're saying is that, oh, they tested tactical nuclear weapons. No, they did not. They tested the delivery system. Big difference. So yeah, just keep playing it.
Massive difference. Okay, the next one.
Russia issues clearest provocation yet after Putin orders nuclear testing. And there we go. Here it is. The West has been warned of a world catastrophe in a scathing verbal attack from former President Dmitry Medvedev today, following reports that Putin has ordered Russia's military to conduct a range of nuclear weapons tests. Here we go. I have feared this, and we are once again adding a grain of sand to the heap. A year ago, 2 years ago, Russia will use nuclear weapons. They're not going to fire an ICBM at New York or D.C. or Tempe, Arizona or something. What they're going to do is they're going to use lower grade, lower yield tactical nuclear weapons on the battlefield. A small bomb that can wipe out a large outpost. No more waiting around and playing it safe.
Okay, number one. No, they're not. Okay. We can put it basically. Number one, he's got his head in his ass. With the advance of modern explosive weights, modern net explosive weights by size, the Soviets already developed. We developed the Moab, the mother of all bombs. It's the equivalent of a tactical nuclear weapon, a little bit bigger, but that's beside the point. It low yield, but let me look up. I can look up the net explosive weight real quick, but they developed what they call they won up and called it the father of all bombs, and thermobaric. It's thermobaric, and it's the most. They say it's the most powerful conventional non-nuclear weapon. Let's see if we can see its blast yield, 44 tons. Okay, 44 tons. There is nothing that Ukraine has out there that would require anything bigger than that. Ukraine doesn't have anything that requires a tactical nuclear weapon. I mean, they've already lost the export M1s. They've already lost at least one, maybe two of the export M1s we sent them, probably because they drove them backwards into fucking combat. I don't know. They're fucking dumb. They're Ukrainians. And but I want both sides to lose, just for the record. But there's nothing that doesn't need thermal barracks. I mean, standard thermal barracks. Their semi-guided hypersonic missile is good enough. I mean, the big thing is when you use a tactical nuclear weapon, you use it on something that you can't wipe out with thermal barracks, or you use it on something that needs it. Tactically and strategically, there's no reason. Once a nuke fires off, everything comes undone. That just gives the go-ahead that everybody can start using them. India versus Pakistan, Pakistan versus India. Iran's now claiming they have one. All kinds of fun stuff. But if they use it, it needs to have a proper target. And with the repeated setbacks that the Ukrainians have taken over the last week, and they've been bad, there is no reason, absolutely no reason, for them to use a tactical nuclear weapon. Number one, contrary to what people like Beanie Boy think, you can actually track the fucking things from space. Unless the Russians going to use, number one, we know where every single fucking depot is. We've known since the 70s where their depots are. Moving them is not as simply as easy as just, backing your car up and throwing it in the trunk, although you can't do that. But as soon as you drive out, everybody's going to know. Then you've got to get it to the front. Then you've got to get to the launcher. By the time they got it to the launcher, you could have F-111s out of Crete hitting the fucking site. He knows it. We know it. And what's he going to say? Oh, well, you stopped me from using a nuclear weapon. Everybody's going to go, well, yeah, because you're a fucking crazy person. They're not going to use them. There's no reason to. There's no reason to keep, to use any tactical nuclear weapon. Tactical nuclear weapons are used for tactical advantage. So even if they're testing longer, they want to test some tactical nuclear weapons. I think they should, to make sure that they work. I think we should too. My wife's going, oh God, not the nuke discussion. But I think we should test them to make sure ours work, because nobody's testing them.
RALTS is roboting for me.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
cutting out real hard.
Okay, contrary to popular belief, nukes have a shelf life. So we should test them. Our nuclear arsenal needs tested and upgraded. Let them do theirs. But the fact that, they're going to use nuclear weapons. No, they're not. Give me one good reason they would. Give me one good reason, strategically, tactically, logistically, anything that they would use one.
So the only thing going nuclear would do is screw them.
Screw them. Yeah. That's the only thing you do is screw them. That's it. And they're winning. Despite what you hear every day, they are winning. Like it or not, I have no love for Russia. I can't stand them. I can't stand the government. The people are fine. Putin's an ex-KGB thug who somebody should have thrown him out a window in Dresden when the fucking wall went down. But we didn't get that lucky. The oligarchs fuck that country in the ass every fucking day. But that doesn't mean I like Ukraine. Because prior to the war, Ukraine's number one export was child porn and sex slaves. So, hey, I can dislike both of them. But Russia doesn't need the land. I mean, fuck. Russia's huge. Everybody says, oh, Ukraine is the breadbasket of the world. It's only that. No, okay. I mean, let's take a good look at it. How big is Ukraine? I mean, what's not covered in Soviet era fucking garbage? Let's see. How big is Ukraine in square miles? Ukraine is the massive size of 233,000 square miles. How big is Texas in square miles? 261,000. So yeah, they're the breadbasket of your dick, maybe. That's it. I mean, even then, you've got contaminated land from Soviet era programs. You've got, no, the whole reason that they're like producing the nitrogen and the phosphorus and everything is because global manufacturing and global economics demanded that they handle it, and the U.S. doesn't want to do anything that might give Americans jobs. God forbid that.
The horror.
Yeah, Western Ukraine was bombing East Ukraine long before Russia rolled up. The Azov battalion was out there hanging pregnant women for fun. And mining. They talk all that smack about mining, but I mean, the country is the size of Texas, and it's not sitting on anything super critical. I mean, it's nothing that Russia doesn't have in spades.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think the news said that the excuse they were using was natural gas, but Russia's got a shit ton of that already, correct?
yeah.
Yeah.
Russia's got a ton of fucking gasoline, natural gas. Russia is 6.6 million square miles. It's the largest country in the world. It beats out Canada by 2.8 million square miles. And a lot of that is virgin territory. Not even the Soviet Union rolled through the whole thing. Why should they go nuclear? And if they want it for mining, and farming, then they're not going to go nuclear.
Yeah,
There's
it kind
no
of
fucking
ruined the
reason.
land.
Yeah. I mean, sure, if Russia managed to beat the neutron problem, which, oh God, if one more person tells me that America didn't finish the neutron bomb project, but if they managed to somehow, well, probably some Democrat politician broke his fucking feet off running to Russia with the fucking data, but if they use a neutron, it'd be pretty quick, 90 days before the massive radiation's gone, and plants love that shit. They can plant sunflowers, hooray for them. And but tactically, it gives no advantage that an artillery bombardment doesn't. Strategically, it offers even less. And geopolitically, it's a fucking nightmare.
Yep, there you go. Okay, so let's do the next one.
Nobody wants to play the card just yet. Putin will. And, I love this because when I've said this over and over again, that Vladimir Putin will use nuclear weapons on the battlefield, the response from everyone is, no, he wouldn't. It would be mutually assured destruction. And I tell people, no, it won't. And there are people who respond with, you're nuts. Putin is not talking about firing a multiple independently targeted reentry vehicle, bombarding the eastern seaboard of the United States with 12 warheads. We're talking about 100 kiloton bombs hitting military bases and cities in Kiev. No one is going to nuke Moscow over Ukraine. There was one politician. He said something like, no one would sacrifice New York for Poznan. Meaning, even if Vladimir Putin invades Poland, they still won't use nukes on Russia.
Two subjects there. Somebody took the time to teach him what MERV meant after his disastrous fucking dipshititis the last fucking time he tried to talk about him.
By the way, if you want me to run it back, if you unclick the mute, you can talk over him.
Oh, by all means.
Oh, you want me to run it again?
Go ahead.
Okay, just remember, unmute your mic.
Nobody wants to play the card just yet. Putin will. And,
No,
I love this because when I've said this over and over again, that Vladimir Putin will use nuclear weapons on the battlefield, the response from everyone is, no, he wouldn't. It would be mutually assured destruction.
No, it won't.
And I tell
That's
people, no, it
not
won't. And there are people who respond with, you're nuts.
No, you're an idiot.
Putin is not talking about firing a multiple independently targeted reentry vehicle, bombarding the eastern seaboard of the United States with 12 warheads.
Even then he got it wrong.
We're talking about 100 kiloton bombs hitting military bases and cities in Kiev. No one is going to nuke Moscow over Ukraine. There was one politician. He said something like, no one would sacrifice New York for Poznan. Meaning, even if Vladimir Putin invades Poland, they still won't use nukes on Russia.
Okay, we can go over the fact that we've got a lot of military assets in Poland. I'm not going to go how much. I follow various divisional newsletters and stuff, and they're terrible with their OPSEC. But if Russia thinks that the few M1 exports we gave to Ukraine were a fucking big problem that he had to fucking tell people, make sure you kill these things. The fact that we've got just under, I think it's 2.5 regiments of modern M1A4s with complete upgrades sitting in Poland, and they're not driven by Poles. That's American crew members. Not to mention all kinds of nasty shit in Poland, because Poland let us build a few military bases. And in return, we've been over there for, 6 years now. See, when Germany told us to get the fuck out, we moved our tanks stateside, upgraded them, moved them to Poland. Well, actually, we moved them to the Middle East, then Poland. It's not independently targeted. It's independent reentry vehicle. The targeting is implied. Fucking dildo. If he nukes, okay, 100 kiloton bombs. All right, there's 100,000 tons of dynamite. If he can hit Kiev, like he's saying, he'll hit Kiev with them. If he can hit Kiev with that, why doesn't he just fucking use thermal barracks? Why doesn't he just use, the fun stuff? Why doesn't he just completely bomb the fuck out of Kiev like the U.S. did Baghdad in 1990? Why won't he? Why doesn't he? Why doesn't he? Everybody's like, they don't know what they're doing. Well, they made a mistake. Ukraine made a mistake, and they didn't realize that they should have sued for peace before Russia got its war machine up. Everybody's like, he only had one tank during his military parade. Yeah, it's because the rest of them are on the front, genius. And that tank is a throwback to their World War II victories, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, the whole thing that gets me is the people who make these comments like, simple, they're going to use nuclear weapons. You either open the dance with nuclear weapons or you use it. Tactical nuclear weapons were developed to offset the Russian tank Zerg rush. The 9th and 11th Guards bursting out of fucking Dresden, whatever. The last thing anybody wanted was all those tanks pouring through the fucking gap and down through the fucking plains of Germany. Tactical nuclear weapons were developed to stop that. And they were developed to be artillery fired or short-range missile. Yes, America does have 155 millimeter and 8-inch tactical nuclear weapons. Big fucking surprise. As a matter of fact, they even got 120s. They can be fired from M1s. You use them when you either start because you break up all their defenses right there. You blow out their fucking electrical. You blow out their fucking water. You blow out their fucking their airports. You blow out their fucking tanks and vehicles. If he was going to use attack, if he was going to use a fucking red pill, he would have used it when his Spetsnaz failed to take the airport. He would have hit the airport because the initial invasion went terrible. I mean, I know A-10 pilots who saw that big line of fucking trucks and spontaneously orgasmed and fell on the floor to a faint like a fucking 1800s Victorian maid. I mean, everybody who says, vehicles will never line up again. Holy shit, that was an A-10 pilot's masturbation fantasy. That shit would never work against the West. That would be nothing but Highway of Death 2. But no, there's no reason for it. I mean, he hasn't given an actual reason for him to use them. You notice that? He hasn't given a single reason for Putin to use them beyond trust me, bro. I'm backed by, I don't know, the 80s medal for nuclear equipped units in Western Germany, as well as, weekly briefings on what the chances were that they were going to lob a nuke through the gap. I'm basing my stuff on training and experience during the height of the Cold War. He's basing his shit off of fantasies. There's no reason for him to use them. You use them at the beginning, or you use them if the enemy suddenly shows up with a shitload of tanks. Now, if we sent 120 M1 tanks and they started pushing toward Moscow, one big fucking clump of them, that's when you use it. Of course, it's not going to do much good because the tanks just come out the other side because, LOL, fuck you, I'm an Abrams, and I'm designed to do that. Yes, boys and girls, the M1 Abrams is designed to take up to a 240 kiloton blast to the front glacis.
That, and supposedly, if you take Putin at his word, and I don't necessarily do, he wants Kiev intact.
Yes, he does.
He does not want to blow it up, but he keeps saying that apparently it was originally the capital of Russia.
Now that I don't know. I don't pay
Yeah.
any attention to what a bunch of fucking potato smugglers do.
Mhm.
I don't give a fuck. They're one step below the Irish.
But yeah,
And I say that with red hair.
he wants the city. He's not going to blow it up.
I mean, that's like he really hasn't been hammering. You hear all of that, oh, it's a war crime to hit electrical substations. No, it's not. It's called war, faggot. Notice how he's not hitting their grid. Notice that? Remember when he took the Chernobyl facility and everybody said he was going to blow it? Ukraine was like, oh, he's going to blow it up and irradiate all of Europe. No. My bet would be Zelensky's underhanded snake ass blowing it up and blaming the Russians.
I'd buy that.
See, I don't like either side. I don't have to. I don't have to like either side. I don't like either side. I don't support either side. I think that, I see these videos on the internet where Ukraine's public relations are putting out these videos of drones dropping grenades on wounded people who are trying to surrender. And I'm like, wow, that's called a war crime. If I did that, if I would have done that in 1991, you guys would have had me on trial. But you fuckers who cried and pissed and moaned over every single dead fucking Haji are clapping like fucking seals for this. There was a guy literally begging the drone for his fucking life. He had no weapon. He had no military gear, not even his vest. He was begging for his fucking life. They dropped the grenade, severely wounded him. He was trying to crawl away, and they did it again. And people on the internet from America think it's funny. No, that's killing an unarmed person. It's against the Geneva Convention.
I found those videos pretty stomach turning myself, but
I
refuse to watch them.
I find the videos of both sides executing prisoners to be disgusting. You don't execute prisoners. I do believe we put the Nazis on trial for that. And the same people that pissed and moaned and whined that we were too mean to the fucking Hajis are the same ones clapping like fucking seals for this shit.
True.
So I can dislike both sides. And I can hold my fellow Americans in contempt, especially the ones who have never done a day's service or have never actually deployed and never had their life under threat, who are clapping like fucking seals for war crimes. Fuck you. But notice he doesn't give us, sorry, tangent, but notice he doesn't give a single fucking reason that he'd use them. Not one valid reason. Just trust me, bro. Fuck you. Okay. I know how they're launched. I know how they're maintained. I know how they're operated. I know how they work. I know the tactical usage of them. For fuck's sake, part of my job was the deployment of them. What?
Oh, no. I thought you were done. Just keep going.
No, I mean, for part of my job was the fucking deployment, advising 8th Infantry and 3rd Armored Division in the deployment of tactical nuclear weapons. Because the whole goal was to go through the gap all the way to Moscow and park their fucking tanks on fucking Moscow while it burns. That was the whole fucking goal. And that means glassing everything in between. I've actually had my hands on a tactical nuclear weapon. For fuck's sake, I fucked a redhead on one.
Okay, that's bragging rights.
That is bragging rights.
And because I was, and you can look it up, 5th Corps was Atomic Corps. We were the ones that had the weapons. And there is, he doesn't give a single fucking reason. Oh, he'll do it. He'll do it. He'll do it. If he wants to commit geopolitical suicide, he'll do it. I mean, what's he going to do? What's he going to hit with it? Name me one thing he can hit with it that he couldn't accomplish through saturation missile fire or saturation fire for effect. One thing he couldn't fucking do with a shake and bake. I mean, they do a shake and, they fucking wheel out the artillery and do some shake and bake, and all those people fucking dancing at the club are going to have a real bad day. For those of you that don't know what that is high explosive followed by white phosphorus.
Ooh.
Oh, ow. Ooh, no.
I think the nuke would be more
infantry in the open.
kind.
What?
I think the nuke would actually be more kind.
Yeah, there's worse weapons. I mean, can you imagine some fucking fast movers dropping some fucking napalm on Kiev for shits and giggles?
Yeah. I don't know. With Tim Pool, he has just got a major boner for Civil War and World War III, and it's very obvious that he really wants something horrible to happen.
Well,
Because that's his bread and butter.
I mean, I don't want to see Civil War. I've been to
No.
countries that had civil wars, and it's not pleasant. It's really not pleasant. And what it is I'll say what it is. He might not even believe this. It's all fucking clickbait. The same way that article is written. Oh, they're testing tactical nuclear weapons. No, they're testing the delivery vehicles. That's a big fucking difference. Testing a delivery vehicle is not an escalation. But it does say, hey, I'm testing my delivery system, so you're pushing me the wrong way. And what does it give him the advantage for? I mean, what does he get out of it? Oh boy, he wants the farmland. Okay, so he's going to use a nuclear weapon on him. That's about as smart as all these people saying the American Civil War will be over really quick because we'll just nuke the Midwest.
That's
what's that? You're going to go against me? Well, it's time to start slaughtering civilians. And that's the other thing is big reason why, he's not going to use them because they're indiscriminate. They'll knock out everything he wants to keep and kill the civilians. I mean, name one military target that he couldn't knock the fuck out with either artillery or missiles. Or if he really wants to, he can, strap a few people in those fucking pedal-powered jets he's got and fucking, lose half of them to accomplish the fucking bombing run. But hey, he does it. He'd be better off doing that. He's still burning through the World War II stockpiles. To me, the whole thing is a fucking two retards slap fighting.
I know that Putin's been pretty insistent that it's for historical reasons he wants the land, but again, take that for what you will.
Oh, I don't give a fuck why they want it. I don't give a fuck why he wanted it. He knew it was going to cause problems to do it, but Ukraine has been mismanaged for decades. It's a fucking Slavic fucking slap fight. We should stay the fuck out of it. They're as bad as the fucking Arabs.
I guess the other
your
reason
ancestor stole a potato from me during the fucking fate. I'm going to do war on you. Shut the fuck up. They're as bad as the Hatfields and McCoys.
I guess the other claim is that he doesn't like the idea of NATO bases right next door.
On one hand, fuck you. You don't get to tell those countries whether or not they're part of NATO because you don't fucking own them anymore. On the other hand, I imagine, that if Mexico threw in for China or Russia and let them put military bases, we'd be having fucking kittens too.
Or more likely, the Chinese setting up a base in Canada.
Well, why should they? The Chinese buy farmland and fucking property next to the U.S. military bases here, and nobody does anything about it.
Actually, this state did start doing something about it.
Yeah, and all the politicians went, "Oh, you can't do that. You can't stop them. It stops freedom of trade." Actually, it's a belligerent nation buying land next to the military base. We wouldn't let the Soviets do it.
Actually, in this state, what it was our governor, knowing that her career hangs by a thread because it's in question whether or not she was actually voted in or not, realized if I want to keep my job, I better keep the proles happy. So she booted out all of the Chinese who are buying up water rights and land.
It was Chinese and Saudis, right?
Chinese and Saudis, yeah. But that's the only reason why she did it. But she didn't do it out of the goodness of her heart. She did it because an entire town had absolutely no water for 4 months.
An entire town was ready to kill her.
Yeah.
But yeah,
he's not saying anything. All he's doing is repeating what's in there. And I mean, he's just doing clickbait. He hasn't given a single reason. He hasn't given a valid reason. His last video, he at least tried to give reasons that were laughable and fucking retarded. But
Yeah.
this one, he's just repeating what those papers say. And there's a difference between testing. I mean, for fuck's sake, you could say we're testing our arsenal because we did some fucking tests down on the Marshall Islands over the last year.
Now,
No,
the
I
part
think
that pissed me off was he kept saying, Putin will do it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, you're trying to put he's trying to put himself, he's trying to say that, oh, I know exactly what he's going to do. No, you don't. If he's crazy, like you say, he doesn't know what he's going to do from one minute to the next. If he's a Machiavellian mastermind, like other people say, he's got this all plotted out, and this was his intention to bleed off the fucking unemployed young males, to help stabilize his economy and keep down any dissension, any insurrection, and to draft people out of problematic, not protectorates, but problematic areas, states within Russia, and bleed them off on the front line. A way to get rid of Wagner Group, which he did. Got rid of them. They're in Africa now. Saying it, he'll do it. I mean, it's the same as when I was a kid and heard all these people jumping up and down, screaming that Khrushchev or Andropov were going to fucking fire a nuclear weapon any day. They will do it. No, they didn't.
When I was growing up, it was Reagan. They kept my parents every other day. Reagan's going to destroy your future. He's going to nuke the world. You're not going to grow up. You're not going to have a life because of Reagan.
I should have thrown a fucking Davy Crockett through the gap when I had the fucking chance.
So, okay, now the last one, and this I included more just to show how much he's talking out of his ass and really has nothing to say because he goes way off topic.
Oh, cool.
Russia will use nukes. Then there's this, as we speed through your latest updates on the war that's coming. Russia, China conducting joint exercises in relation to Taiwan, DNI says. It's times like these I always like to do these shout-outs for safeandreadymeals.com, which I won't. But I say that only because the point here is, hope y'all are taking care of yourselves. Hope y'all are prepared. That's it. Do you know how to start a fire safely at a campsite? Do you know how to pitch a tent? Do you know how to gut a chicken? Yeah? You probably don't. Most people don't. My understanding of preparing a chicken for consumption is from watching YouTube videos. And then we had some roosters slaughtered. And they put them upside down in this like funnel looking thing and then remove their heads. But I got to warn you. I got to tell you.
Okay, number one, what is it with the fucking chickens?
I was just thinking the same thing.
He is obsessed with chickens.
Number two, he sounds like Rachel Maddow. Remember when he mocked her, Russia, Russia, Russia? That's all I fucking hear coming out of his mouth. Russia, Russia, Russia. It's like Marsha, Marsha, Marsha.
Oh no,
Anyway, okay.
Russia and China did a joint exercise like they've been doing since the 1950s. Oh no. And okay, number one, I know about a dozen ways to start a fire. Because I'm Gen X and we lit everything on fire that we found. I know how to put up a tent. I knew before I joined the army. Because I went outside. I know how to kill and gut a chicken. You don't cut, holding them upside down and cutting their head off into a funnel. You use garden shears. You just grab the fucking thing and snap its neck, then go over to the fucking stump and cut its head off. You snap its neck first. Otherwise, you cut its head off and it runs around, which is always funny. Yes, chickens literally will run around if you cut their heads off with a fucking hatchet.
My grandmother the woman who raised me, her mom used to keep chickens in a horse corral she had. And I actually watched her one day when I must have been like 5, 6, watched her walk out there, grab one of the chickens by the head, swing it around her head a few times, and then put it back on the ground and let it run around till it was dead.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah, wring in the neck.
Snap its neck. You snap its neck. It's not that hard. You gut it, cut right between the legs, pull the skin open, just scoop everything out. There, you've gutted the chicken. Congratulations. You know it's going to take you longer? Pulling all the fucking feathers off. Jesus Christ, I hate that.
Yeah.
How
My
do you
mom
skin a rabbit?
hated that growing up on a farm. It drove her nuts when it was time to pluck the chickens.
How do you skin a rabbit? You bite between its ears. You grab its ears, pull them open, pull them separate a little bit, bite between their ears, and you rip their skin right off, all the way down to the feet.
I did not know that.
I
Yep.
did not know that either.
You know, snake's good eating. You know, cut the head off the
Mhm.
snake and scale it, skin it, pull its spine out, pull its guts out. That's all that long rope. That's meat. I mean, I know how to skin a fucking deer. I know how to, I know all that shit. I mean, but but he is right. You know, I am going to give it to him. I wonder how many of his listeners do know how to start a fire. It's actually harder than people think. I mean, a lot of people can burn up the tinder and not catch the kindling,
Mhm.
or they burn up, or the kindling goes out on them. They don't understand why, or the kindling starts to burn, so they throw logs on it. Don't understand why it went out. You know, you got to build a little teepee.
Yeah.
Got to build a little teepee and put in the little bed. You know, you can do it with a lighter. You can do it with fucking flint and steel. You can do it with, if you need to, you can do it with the bow saw method or the rubbing the stick real fast. You know, you can do all that. It's fairly easy. And one of the good things is dryer lint. Dryer lint's great for it. Dryer lint's great for starting a fire. That's why people's houses burn down. But it's. But how many people will watch him do? I'm not going to bag on him for saying that. How many of the people will watch him do know how to set up a tent? I mean, I can I can make a tent if I have to. It's not that hard. You just need canvas. But
I do not regret going to the Boy Scouts when I was younger.
Mm-mm.
no, how many people know how to shoot a bow?
Well, I can't hit the target, but
Yeah, I was gonna say I
can.
can't hit the target.
I can.
My shoulders are blown out, so I have to use the little 45-pound bow like a girl.
Okay, yeah, I got a 40-pounder. So
that little 45-pounder hurts my shoulders. Me. But I'm missing some tendons and some pieces in there that have been replaced by metal. But how many of the people do? How many of the people watch him are like me and have like 90 days worth of food and water purification pellets and radiation detectors? And radiation meters. How many people have that? How many people know, if you ever for some reason need water and you come up on a puddle of water and you look at it and it has no moss, no algae, no insects, don't drink that, because whatever's killing them will kill you. If it's got moss and algae and insects, as long as it doesn't have mosquito larvae, don't drink the mosquito larvae. Scoop it out, throw an iodine pill in it, and it's good. I mean, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know how easy it is to catch fish. Fish are fucking stupid. Fish are really fucking dumb. And they're easy to fucking catch. A lot of people don't know, squirrels are easy to catch. Squirrels are delicious. I've actually had squirrel stew. It's pretty fucking good. But how many of his listeners, don't have food, don't have water purification, don't have water filters, don't know how to fucking do a water filter in case of an emergency? I mean, if you absolutely have to fucking use a case of emergency, go to one of the dead cars, pop the hood, grab the air filter, smack it out against your fucking leg, pour the water through that. I mean, actually wash it a few times, but I mean, absolutely worth it. You're better off using 2 shirts and a layer of cotton. Cotton balls between 2 shirts is an effective field expedient filter. It's not the greatest, but you won't be fucking, drinking fucking grit. It's, if there's chemicals in it, you're fucked anyway, because it takes an industrial filter or a specially designed filter to get that shit out. If you're worried about him starting a nuclear war, buy your survival gear. I mean, don't go to these fucking places that are like, oh, Patriot this and USA Survival that. Don't do that shit. No. No, don't do that. Do your research. Figure out where you live. The biggest thing that will help you is finding out an evacuation route, and don't depend on the interstate. Don't depend on Highway 62 or whatever. find a way to get out that doesn't require the main roads. And find a way that if your car breaks down, you can continue to hike it to safety. Knowing an evacuation route, practice it, planning it, and driving it repeatedly will do you more than anything else. Because I've had to evacuate from forest fires, earthquakes, floods, and once volcanic ash. Although I was too young to do the evacuation route, I was just a kid. But
Okay, let's see if I've got this right or not, as far as escape routes go. Beside train tracks, or if the storm drains or storm canals are dry.
do not use storm canals. You do not know if a dam upriver has burst,
Mm,
Oh, good
good
point.
point.
Yeah.
Okay.
or if the reservoir is flooding. You don't know. 1 minute it's dry, the next minute you're dead. And plus, you never know what's living down there.
So even driving alongside the road of the canal is a bad idea then?
You'll get a few minutes of warning.
Okay.
Sand and gravel. Yeah, sand and gravel is great for your more permanent ones. Yeah, survival lily's good. No archery, all that shit.
Can I ask a really stupid question? Because you've got, okay, I'm like researching shit while you've been talking. Is potassium iodide the radiation pills?
Potassium iodine and god damn it, it's the Prussian blue. Okay, if you're really worried about it, you want Prussian blue, the pink goo, and potassium iodine.
Okay, well, we've got a ton of the pink shit.
Yeah,
Just because I always get an upset stomach anyway.
you need the
See,
pink
so
shit
you
because
didn't forget the fucking iodine this time.
yeah.
No, I actually, even RALTS was talking about it, and I remembered, like, I've ordered iodine pills for water purification, plus I have the filter straws, like, I've done a bunch of shit.
I mean, and there's
Just
nothing
now
wrong.
I need to learn how to hunt.
Legitimate question. What's the shelf life of the iodine pills? I mean, like, is it something I can throw in there and 25 years later they're fine, or
As far
do
as
they
I know,
actually?
yeah. I mean,
Okay, cool.
they might have a shelf life, but
Iodine.
Well,
potassium iodine.
I figured it would last forever, but you never know, So,
I mean, I remember having to take that shit. Yeah, you finish working downrange, come upstairs, pop a potassium iodine, chug some Prussian blue, and you're good. Just in case.
just in case.
Nothing like looking down at your badge and seeing it bright red and going, fuck, when was the last time I looked at this badge? It's like, god damn it, this is gonna suck. Prussian blue and iodine. But I mean, yeah, he's going for the rage bait. He's going for the clicks. I don't know if he believes it or not. Actually, if he believed, I mean, he is right though to tell his listeners to learn to pitch a tent, learn to start a fire. I don't think a lot of people know just how much of a fight chickens will put up though.
Chickens
They'll
are
put up a fight.
mean.
Yes, they are. Every animal will put up a fight because no animal wants to die. It's that simple.
Well, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as small game hunting, Janelle,
Mhm.
a Ruger 22 rifle should be all you need.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
The ammunition's cheap. It's easy to maintain.
And remember, 2 or 3 hits from a 5.56 might not put that deer down.
Well, isn't
True.
5.56 kind of
It's 0.223. It's kind of
Okay.
The round's meant to penetrate, not necessarily kill
Yeah.
immediately.
Okay. I've got a lot. See, now you guys have got me researching a bunch of shit. I've hardly been paying attention. I'm just like, no research. Sorry.
What caliber would you recommend for a deer?
for a deer 308. 308 is what I
308?
used to use.
Now you can buy one, aren't you?
I was already looking at one, so.
All right.
I used 308 when I was a kid, and an M1 Grand.
Oh, nice.
That's what I was given. I was given a 30. By the time I was 16, I had a 30-30 lever action Winchester, a M1 Garand, and a 12 gauge Mossberg.
Okay, what's the thing with it eating your thumb?
What?
The
The Grand?
Yeah.
I don't know. I never had that problem.
Okay. A lot of the people I watch online, they have a thing with the Garand, and they have the Garand thumb thing where, like, if you slam the clip, and I'm using that correctly, the clip
Yeah, it's a clip, not a magazine with that thing.
in either too hard, or you don't pull your hand out fast enough, it'll eat it. It'll eat your
Oh,
finger.
yeah. Yeah, it's when the bolt goes forward.
Yeah.
What was the other one I had? I had an M1 carbine too.
Nice.
Good rugged weapons. I mean, I wouldn't recommend an AR-15 platform for anything survivalist, because they are little fucking debutante princess queens. I mean, get yourself good sturdy ones. But the only advantage about an AR-15 is that the parts are everywhere.
Cat
the
loves
big
her
thing-
AR-15.
Yes, I do.
A lot of things I feel like is this is going to sound really weird. We've kept Europe from and before us, and the Soviets, we all kept Europe from fighting each other for fucking decades. And you know what? Just let them fight.
Yeah.
I mean, he wants Ukraine, and he's got his reasons. I don't care. I don't care, because number one, I quit caring.
None of our
It's a lot
fucking
easier.
business. That our problem.
It's not my problem. I'm more worried about, what's my electric bill going to be this week? What this month? How bad's my electric bill going to be? How much am I going to see a California offset charge in my fucking electrical bill this month?
Oh God! And
Yeah,
I know
they're
you're
bringing
not
that again.
joking.
Good night, Star Storyteller.
Oh,
AKs are
night.
overblown. The AK thing is really overblown. They can be a serious pain in the ass. I know a couple people that have them. They love them. I know a couple people that have them. They hate them. It all depends on. I don't know. I was never an AK man. I didn't like it. But yeah, I mean, it's the California offset charge. You fucking dicks. Pay for your own electricity, assholes.
All right, so then I suppose for just a general functional rifle to our listeners, what would you recommend?
M1 carbine.
M1.
It's not pretty. It's not sexy. Nobody's gonna, nobody's, they don't make that much. They don't make that many. They don't make that much tactical shit. But M1 carbine's good enough to fucking fight in the trenches. It's good enough to fucking use.
And that is one thing to keep in mind is, yeah, bells and whistles are great, but if it's tried and tested in the trenches.
Yeah. And Winchester 30-30 is excellent for hunting. And with a little bit of work, you can make it so you can just tuck, 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 tuck. Just fucking rifleman that shit.
Nice.
I mean, you can drop your whole fucking magazine out. But yeah, I mean, for rifles, I mean, for me, I'm old school. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna tell you what it is. Go to one of the gun stores with an indoor range. Make sure you understand you're serious about buying a rifle, and test them. See what fits your arms. See what fits your hands. See what feels comfortable and right to you. Is your best fucking thing. Don't let all these people showing you all this tactical bullshit, because tactical bullshit is bullshit. I mean, I know somebody, they spent $2,000 on some fucking kind of fucking site for their fucking AR-15. They dropped the AR-15 and broke it.
And that's the other thing is, will it stand up to running around?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the whole thing, find what's right for you. Kat's got longer arms than I do. I much prefer carbines. She likes the long rifles.
So no, actually, that's wonderful advice just for any firearm is go to the store, test them out, actually hold it.
Oh, and it's actually really, really a big deal with pistols.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oh God. Actually, we had our eyes set on a CZ P01. It's a 9mm pistol, and both of us got our hands on it, and we're like, this is really uncomfortable to hold. It's very weird too.
I've got one of those hands that I'm comfortable that a 45 is comfortable in my hand.
Nice. Of course,
And
you're what,
it's not for, yeah, I'm
6'5"?
6 foot. No, I'm 6 foot even.
6 foot even. Okay, but still, you got the big hands for it. Oh, see, now you'd probably love my dad's gun because I inherited his Super Ruger Red Hawk, so 44 Magnum.
I just remember we're at the store and I tried the CZ pistol and I like the feel of the SIG better. And the guy and the outer just gets this giant smile.
What I always wanted, but I could never afford it, was a Detonics. I mean, they were a really good remake of the 45. And I always wanted one, but they were, I mean, look them up. They are expensive as fuck. I wanted the Detonics Combat Master.
Detonics Combat Master. Oh, that.
Yeah, how much are you seeing it for?
Oh, give me a second. I'm just seeing people writing about how awesome it is. Let's see.
I knew somebody that had one. It was fucking engraved and shit, but he let me shoot it, and I wanted one ever since. A Detonics Combat Master.
Gun Broker has it for 1,500.
That's it? Fuck, for a while they were up to like 3,000-4,000.
Oh, it's an auction.
Oh yeah, it's going high.
I take that back. It's 1,700 right now, but it's got 6 days left, so that means it just got started.
Yeah, I would love to fucking have one because the last time I looked at them, they're like $5,000. I was like, fuck. Can't do it.
It's nice though.
Yeah, they're nice, and they solved all the problems that the 45 can have if you don't get it throated and ramped.
Oh, nice. See, that's one thing I love about learning about guns is the engineering problems that have been solved throughout the years. Just basically one more area where we've made physics our bitch.
I mean, but thinking about the whole thing, it's just he's repeating a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And he doesn't. I mean, I wish he'd do some. Wish he'd do some fucking research on tactical nuclear weapons. I mean, TACs are, number one, they're touchy as fuck. I'll be honest. I wouldn't trust any tactical nuclear weapon made by the Russians. Their precision. But
yeah, I have kind of a similar feeling about Chinese weaponry as well.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just he's farming clicks. He's got a huge audience. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna blame him for the hustle. I mean, well, Tim Cooks said I wouldn't trust anything made by the Russians nowadays. I'm going to point out, trust anything made by anybody. They're really starting to fuck with manufacturing nowadays. You go out and you buy an all wood table, but you peel it back and you find out it's veneer over cardboard, and the seller tells you, well, cardboard's made of wood. The quality of manufactured goods is dropping like a rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, the quality is just dropping. Well, look at your food. What the fuck is wrong with food lately? I bought my wife a noodle maker. She makes noodles. We grow our own vegetables, all that good stuff. And And we went out and we bought some fast food, and my God, it made us sick. It made us real sick. And then, you look at the nutritional value. You want some fun? Look at the nutritional value that they're putting on the labels nowadays. It's completely crap.
No, it's all processed. It's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
And they've added something to it. I don't know what it is. I remember when they were like, high fructose corn syrup is just the same as sugar.
No,
My
it
family
isn't.
went through and
No, it's not.
we went through and cut everything high fructose corn syrup out of the diets. And holy fuck, everybody started feeling better. Everybody started doing better. The food was more filling. I mean, you would be, if you've never looked, if you're listening to this and you've never looked, go into your cupboard right now and look at everything that has high fructose corn syrup, and you will see high fructose corn syrup in the strangest places, like meat. And all that red meat, all that bright pink and red meat you see in the stores, that's dye.
No,
And they inject water in it to plump it up.
Mm-hmm.
Kat,
Same
what
with
was
fruit.
it that you and I were we were texting about? Like I think it was on my birthday. Actually growing our own sugar cane because we live in the zone to do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
When was it that we cut out all the high fructose corn syrup, or just sugar in general, Kat?
Oh, we did that around 2016. Yeah. We did that around there. Same time we cut out wheat too. I mean, we occasionally have wheat, so it's not like, we're completely eschewing it, but 99% of it was cut out of our diets. And within the month, both of us found that we weren't as drag ass. We had more energy, and just overall felt better.
Yeah, I mean,
And
if you're eating really well, if you're eating really good, and you can't figure out why you still feel like shit, look at the labels. Look at your labels, and you're gonna find high fructose corn syrup and all kinds of shit.
And be wary when they say things like, natural flavorings,
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
because that's code.
Yeah.
It's like,
For beaver ass gland, which makes the flavor of synthetic vanilla.
And
Mhm.
raspberry.
Yep.
That's why I grow our raspberries now.
Beaver ass gland?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Beaver
Oh, now
ass
it's
gland.
synthetic nowadays. It's based off the chemical that's in it.
I'm sure that's so much better.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You'd be surprised. I mean, and it makes me sound like a fucking hippie, and I hate it because it makes me sound like a fucking hippie. But yeah, my wife's like a racist hippie. I'm not a racist. I just hate, the Irish and the Slavs and the Brits
The people who stole your potatoes,
Yep.
goddammit.
and the swamp donkeys and the box heads. But anyway, be surprised what's in the food. I mean, in the food nowadays, and it's gotten worse. I mean, if you want some fun, buy the soda that's from Mexico, where they still use cane sugar,
Oh, it's so
and
good.
try it. It's so much better.
It's amazing.
I mean, it's just there's so much out of fucking whack, and it's like, holy shit. Anyway, so what else we got?
Nothing else. I don't know. It's just, the food rant. I guess I dodged quite a bit of that because one was I was never big on fast food to begin with. I kind of stopped eating it after college. But then when I hit 40, I was like, I should probably get serious about eating well. I'm not young anymore. But yeah. Because I can't treat my body like shit and it'd be okay the next day anymore. So, I don't really have anything else we can go off of. I mean, whatever you feel like. How about, I don't know. What about you guys?
I got nothing.
You got nothing?
I've got
I got
nothing
nothing.
either.
I got nothing. I mean, maybe chat's got something.
Okay, let's see what the chat has.
Yeah, chat. What should we be pissed off about tonight?
Well, Tweldy says Saudi Arabia has amazing food, even though he didn't like being there. The food's apparently pretty good.
It was okay, but I'm one of those guys that when I was the age I was when I was in Saudi Arabia, I could pull over by the side of the road. You know, the guy that's got the hibachi sitting on the tailgate of his truck by the freeway.
Oh,
I used to just
dude.
fucking jump out and buy those, and my friends are like, "You're gonna fucking die one of these days." I could eat that food with no problem.
But I bet it tasted amazing.
Yes, absolutely.
See, then it's worth it.
Liam Gray having a redemption arc. Ethan Van Scriber blown away on his Dino King book. I don't know. I know who Ethan Van Scriber was. He was that dude that did videos in his car about comic books.
Yeah,
right?
I don't really have any thing to say about Liam other than he's kind of a neurotic dork, and I suppose I'll believe it when I see it. And what's this Dino King book he did? I mean, I'm looking right now, and it's got a bunch of anime shit that looks like Pokemon. But
wasn't Liam Gray the one that was suing everybody?
Yeah, and he was harassing De La Roz to no end.
E4 Mafia stories. Oh God, I got plenty of them. I was an acting jack for a while, which is fun. Acting jack was this thing back in the day when they'd you were an E4, you got paid as an E4, but they gave you E5 rank and made you do E5 stuff. But yeah, I was part of the E4 Mafia for years. Funny thing was, when I was in Europe, I always kept a couple books of fuel coupons in my pocket. Fuel and cigarettes and fuel, tobacco, and alcohol were rationed. Mainly because you pay less per gallon on the military base than you paid per liter off base. Same with cigarettes, same with alcohol. You wouldn't believe what you could get for a couple pair of Levi 501s, a couple bottles of Jack Daniels, some shitty porn tapes, some Def Leppard cassettes, 2 cartons of Marlboros, and a 5-gallon can of gas. You'd be surprised what you could get. But I used to always carry fuel coupons in my pocket. And I got asked once why. And I was like, because I'm not a black marketeer for the most part. And once in a while, I'd get somebody past me, they'd get a hold of me and they'd be like, hey, I'm Colonel so-and-so, I'm in charge of this brigade. We're out of training funds. I'm like, that sounds terrible. And he'd be like, my guys really need training. I was like, what happened to your fucking funds? The HHC used them to do something. And I'd pull strings and I'd get them out. I mean, as an E4, I had the power to get people out to the range at Grafenveer, Vielflicken, Hohensfield, Baumholder, Fulda, wherever they needed. I could get them to the range. Not only that, but I could, with the fuel coupons in my pocket, I could get their vehicles fueled up. And I knew guys who ran the POL points and the fucking and the vehicle washing points, and I could get somebody. I mean, all it took was a little bit of, hey man, can you kind of hook us up? And I could get somebody out to the range to completely qualify from M1 Abrams all the way to just a fucking finance company needing to qualify on their pistols. I mean, you want to talk about E4 Mafia? I was fucking E4 Mafia. You wanted something? I mean, by my 3rd year there, you wanted something? You came to me. Yeah.
Damn.
You come to me on this day of my cat's quinceanera and ask me this question. Yeah, and it would always be, there may come a day when I ask you for a favor. It will not go against your morals or your ethics, but a favor I will ask. And that's how it used to fucking run. I mean, fuck, and if somebody fell through on the deal, fuck, I'd make their life miserable.
Explain what the E4 Mafia is to the audience.
Okay, you always see in the movies that the officers and people get shit done. Well, that's wrong. Okay, you want to help the military, wipe out about half the officers. The Soviet Union learned this after Vietnam, and their plan for their pre-conflict strikes was to not hit officers because officers are retarded, and ones that wear rings from West Point are super retarded. God, they're fucking dumb. Sir, that's not a practice. That's not practice stuff. I know what I'm doing. I'm an officer. And now you're screaming. Yeah, I told you that wasn't practice decon wipes. That is a true story. I tried it. We were doing facial decon practice for chemical weapons. And in my unit, that wasn't in case of chemical warfare from the Soviets. That was in case there was a leak at one of the sites. And the practice ones are bright blue. The non-practice ones were OD green. And we all sat down in our gay little circle to do some training because the officer wanted to. And we all pull out our practice ones. And he pulls out a green one. And I'm like, sir, I don't think that's a practice one. He goes, I don't have one of the blue ones because I'm an officer. I'm like, I work in the NBC room handling masks, and that's not the way this works. I know what I'm talking about. Look, Corporal. I was like, fine. I was like, I'm telling you, that's not a practice one. And he flat out tells me, you better shut up before I lock you up, which means make me stand at attention. I'm like, all right, okay. He goes, I know what I'm doing. I went to West Point. He cracks it open. He wipes his face. Well, that's undiluted DS2. And that'll strip your fucking skin right off if you don't have any chemicals on your face.
Oh, God.
So he's screaming, and I'm like, and what did we learn? And he bitched to the CO. He's like, you just stood there and asked me what I learned. The CO looked at me and looked at him and looked at me and looked at him and went, and what did you learn? It scarred his face up. But I was E4 Mafia, which meant you wanted shit done, you came to me, because for the most part, the NCOs sat in their fucking offices, or they sat around jerking their fucking dick. E5s and E4s get everything done. The Russians knew this to the point where their whole plan was not to shoot like sergeant majors and first sergeants. No. Their whole plan was to kill E4s and E5s.
So staff sergeants.
No, sergeants and corporals.
Oh, okay.
But by the time they hit a staff sergeant, they're usually hiding in their office, jerking off to fucking porn. At least that was from my viewpoint.
Okay.
So E4 Mafia gets shit done. And especially if it's something somebody's having a problem with. CO comes to me and goes, how much funds your site got left? Not much. I got about $500 million left in funds. Can I use some? No. I need that. Yeah, they used to. I was a teenager. I wasn't even 20 yet, and they entrusted me with tens of billions of dollars of equipment and billions of dollars in funds. So E4 Mafia are the guys that get shit done, but not always through the regular way. I mean, I managed to lay my hands on a 24 cut V cargo carburetors. See, my unit was wonderful. We had a mixture of GMC and Chevy Blazers, both of them cut Vs, and their parts weren't intermixable.
Oh, God.
But I wasn't crooked or anything. I just knew lots of people. I mean, you'd be surprised how well you get to know a guy when you're sitting in a cell next to him. So what unit you're from?
To make a completely dated and generational comment, the E4 Mafia would be like Face Man from the 80s.
No.
No?
The E4 Mafia is Radar and Klinger from MASH and Spark.
Oh, okay.
That's
that makes
the
perfect
E4
sense.
Mafia. That's the E4 Mafia.
I just remember it was always in every plot that Face Man could get them anything they needed whenever.
That's usually the chief warrant. That Face Man would be the chief.
Oh, the chief.
Chief warrant officer. Chief warrant officer has the unique ability to turn invisible. And I'm joking, but I'm not. I remember looking, I was like, who the fuck is Chief Webley? Who? Chief Webley. It says we've got a Chief Warrant Officer, Chief Warrant Officer 3, Webley. And has anybody ever seen this dude? We looked for 3 weeks before we found him. He was up at the motor pool in the auxiliary parts cage, reading a porn mag and drinking whiskey. We opened the door. It was like, oh, you're Chief Webley. He got up and he looked at us and he shut the door in our faces and locked it.
Like, okay.
But I got to tell the CEO, hey, we found him. You found him. Yeah, we found him. We told him the story. He goes, huh. Yep, that sounds like a chief. Nobody cared. They have the unique ability to turn invisible. Yeah, but I mean, E4 Mafia was, what I hated, though, was when promotions came around. Fuck, I don't know how they do them now. I don't care. Apparently, they just, your fucking battalion commander goes, oh, you'd make a good E6 or an E6. Now, fuck it. But back in the day, it was the point system. Oh, God, the point system. And your physical fitness test counted. What you did at the range count. How well you shot at the range counted. Your commander could give you up to 200 points. You go in front of the board, your civilian education and your military education. So everybody's scrambling for points because at one time, 3/4 of the MOSs, the points you needed was 998, and out of 1,000. I was lucky. My MOS's point spreads was 350 to 400. Mine was like, do you have a pulse? We'll promote you. But then you had to go before the board, and then you had to go to the primary leadership development course, or the other way. And then your CO and battalion commander had to authorize it. So getting a promotion was a fucking bitch. Yeah, my E5 to E6 track did not go well. And so it took forever to get a promotion. But so E4s were what ran shit because, all the E5s, and to stand for 20 years, you had to be E6 promotable. So if you were only E4, they'd kick you out at 10 years. If you were only E5, they'd kick you out, or E6, they'd kick you out at 15. So no retirement for you. Imagine that. You put in, 15 fucking years and you don't get promoted, or you don't get to go to the board, so you don't get to do your 20.
That's all kinds of screwed.
Because they said, oh, well, you're just not properly motivated. But all the schools went to line units, went to the line slime, the combat arms. And so many of us needed like airborne and air assault, but we couldn't get fucking near them because they were at Bragg and Benning. So Fulda and Crete, Fulda opened up air assault, Crete opened up airborne. And we got to do stuff there. See, I went to air assault school not to get my air assault badge, but to do sling load training, which I used the fuck out of that. So I didn't have my fucking winged helicopter. I didn't have my Angel helicopter. I just, was sling load qualified. Big deal. It was a huge deal. But so they were moving us through that school like an assembly line. And but then they found out stateside that we had these two schools. And to go to these schools, you had to be in Europe or you had to be overseas. Because the jump school in Panama closed down after Just Cause. And holy fuck, that was a nasty one. Same with the Jungle Warfare Center. But when the stateside found out that we had jump school and air assault, they threw a fucking bitch fit to the point where then it was like, oh, you have to let these guys go. And then all of a sudden, guess what? We couldn't get into our own fucking schools. So Crete shut it down, Fulda shut it down. Like, fuck both of you.
They shut it down so what? So they didn't have to pay you more or pay your retirement?
No, because no, they shut down the jump school and the airborne school because it went from being from people stationed overseas, because getting to go to Benning or getting to go to Bragg when you're overseas, and sure, the training is only a couple weeks, but you're taken out of your job, which you were working for a living, and sent stateside, and then have to come back. So it's a whole big problem. And the competition for the slots in the school was intense. I mean, seriously intense. Every time I see an officer with airborne and air assault, the first thing that goes through my head is, that could have gone to somebody who needed it, not your promotion bag it. But same with whenever I see a communications officer with Ranger and Special Forces, it's like, no, you're not. You don't fool me. You didn't go to those schools. And that's a whole different thing. School. It's called schools. It was called God, I can't remember what we used to call it besides cheese-eating, shamming bastards. But what happened was when they it first was only open to Europe and other places, But CONUS, through continental United States, threw such a shit fit that these two schools, 101st Airborne and 82nd, need those slots. Boo hoo hoo. They threw such a whining bitch fit that they got to apply to our schools. Well, then because they applied, 82nd and 101st, like, we're not getting enough slots. We need more. And pretty soon, people in Europe couldn't go to their own fucking school because 82nd, 101 had to furiously masturbate over the fact that, they got to run the school. So Fulda just shut it down, and Creed just shut it down. Said, "Fuck you guys."
So, a couple things. We got James Patrick says, I made an E5 mad at me because she pointed the working end of a pistol at my chest, snatched that thing right out of her hand.
I'd have beat her with it. If she'd been wearing a helmet, I'd start hitting her in the fucking helmet with it. I actually did that. I did that during Desert Storm. She was like, I can't get my pistol on jam, and poked me in the fucking chest with my fucking snatcher and started hitting her in the head with it.
Oh my god.
Whoa!
Well, you can tell I'm an old sexist because I'll tell you the most dangerous thing in the military. A female lieutenant with a compass, a plan, a map, and a pistol. You're gonna die.
No,
You're
I'm
gonna die.
Tell you right now, I earned the respect of all of the range masters at the range that I go to because I went out there and not once did I ever flag anybody.
Oh God.
I'm not
I still
kidding.
remember we got this new butter bar, and she went to school. Well, good for fucking you. While you're in school, I got promoted 3 times. And she had the map of the compass, which had pissed me off because, usually I gave it to my navigator. He rode bitch in the seat. He was my navigator. And I finally turned around looking at him. You said there was a fucking Autobahn for the last 10 miles. Where the fuck are we? And she's like, this map is wrong. You grabbed the wrong map. And I happened to look over and look.
Uh-oh.
She had the fucking map upside down.
Of course she did.
I actually pulled over and got out and started screaming. I'd been driving for 4 hours. We were 2 hours late. Then I had to explain to the Norwegian soldiers why I was late, and that's embarrassing. And what does she do? She's asked, why were you so late? Oh, because my driver didn't know where we were going.
Oh, God.
Bitch, I'll kill you. Oh, that was common. But yeah.
Oh, God.
Do you have any other fun or hilarious stories of officers doing stupid shit?
That's pretty much every fucking day. Oh God. Fuck. I ran a huge ammunition site, and we get a whole new crop of officers. And from the CO, the XO, the platoon leaders, all but like 2 officers were replaced, and and like 3 chief warrant officers, but they weren't replaced because nobody could find them. And no, but he comes out to my site, and number one, I got to go up range. Fuck yeah, I got to stop what I'm doing, make sure everything's good, grab all my gear, get in the fucking forklift, and drive up range at 5 miles an hour. But because any faster, I'm hitting the potholes and bouncing everywhere. And I get up range, and fuck, I get up there because they drove the truck down, then drove away. The lieutenant's driver drove down to find me in a pickup truck and said, hey, the lieutenant wants to see you. I was like, what fucking lieutenant? The one that's in charge of your platoon. Since when? Since when we had a fucking officer? Well, he's in charge now. I was like, who the fuck are you? And how'd you get on my site? And he just turned around, drove away, and fucking leaves me standing. I'm like, it's 2 miles. At 5 miles an hour, 2 miles, that takes a while. Yeah, I'm like, put. Yeah, I finally get up there, get out. First words out of that, well, it took you long enough. I was like, I looked at my German guards and was like, who the fuck is this? And they're like, oh, they're rattling at each other in German. I was like, speak English. Oh, he has ID, and we called back to your unit, and they said he's authorized. I'm like, nobody comes on this site without my fucking permission. I've told you this. And he's like, you need to pay attention to me. And I'm like, just a fucking second. I'm like, and I was like, I need to see your paperwork. Well,
nice.
Okay, I came out here to take inventory of the site. I was like, what? He goes, well, I'm with the unit. I'm like, you can say that, but I need to see some fucking ID. And I need to see your paperwork. And he got mad because he goes, well, we need to go down range and take inventory. And I just fucking looked at him like, number one, you don't have any credentials. And number two, how long do you think inventory is going to take? Well, it shouldn't take more than an hour or so. Are you fucking kidding me? So I'm like, you know what? You wait right here. He's like, you need to pay attention. I'm like, fuck this guy. Go in there. You know, he's yapping about some shit. I close the fucking door, put my boot against it, fucking call back to the unit. And they're like, yeah, we sent him out there. I was like, you sent him out here with no paperwork. Yeah, well, it's all on my desk. I was like, are you fucking kidding me, Smith? She goes, I told him he has to go out there, start typing up his paperwork, and he left. I was like, and who the fuck is this driver? He goes, you know that half the unit's been replaced, right? I'm like, what the fuck happened? She goes, dude, when you get back, I'm telling you all about it. I was like, over drinks? She's like, over drinks. I'm like, if Smith and Schaff, who worked in the oily room, were gonna dish the dirt on what happened in the unit, fuck. If they wanted drinks, you knew it was gonna be good. But yeah, it was a sex for awards and sex for promotion points, and stealing funds and black marketeering fucking sting that blew half our chain of command out.
Damn.
That was fucking great. But I went out there and I'm like, sir, first thing is, do you even know what you're inventorying here? Well, they said it was an ammunition point. I'm like, yes, it is. He goes, so I figure it'll take an hour at the most. I'm like, is this your first unit? He goes, well, yes. What does that have to do with anything? I said, are you ordnance? He goes, no, I'm communications. Fuck me. I'm like, all right. I was like, I'll tell you what. I'm what's called a warfighter site, and I'm also a NATO site. He goes, what's a warfighter site? Fuck me. What's a NATO site? Does that mean that you're part of NATO? And he laughs. Oh, this guy thinks he's part of NATO. Motherfucker, I'm American. I'm part of NATO. NATO site meant I had nuclear chemical weaponry. And so, you know, NATO inspectors would roll through once a year, walk around, drink whiskey with me, and then go fuck back off to Belgium or where the fuck they came from. But he was convinced that it would take an hour, maybe two, to inventory the entire site. Okay, here's what my site possessed. 3 divisions worth the equipment, so that the division could show up completely naked with their vehicles and be completely kitted out to fight World War III. 45 semi-trucks, in case we didn't get any semis in. 12 M113 APCs, 2 Bradley armored fighting vehicles, ambulances, jeeps, pickup trucks, and that's just before you hit the wire. Not to mention the gas tanks, thousands of gallons of fuel. I have 3 helipads. I have the upper, the lower, and the north helipads. Those are also refueling and rearming stations, meaning I had thousands of gallons of JP8 for the fucking helicopters. And then I had 125 bunkers. And we're not talking little tiny bunkers. We're not talking medium-sized bunkers. And we're not talking large bunkers. We're talking extra large, reinforced, angled roof bunkers with blast panels. They're about a football field wide and about 5 football fields deep. I had over 100 of them packed to the gills with ammunition. Enough ammunition for 3 divisions to fight for 90 days. And he thought we were going to inventory that in an hour and a half. That is the ultimate in officer stupidity. And I drove him downrange. And he's like, oh, it's a bunker. I'm like, yeah, what do you think it was? I think it was all out in the open? Well, I didn't expect the bunker door to be so large.
Oh, dear God.
He's like, how much does that weigh? I'm like, it weighs 25 tons. It's 2 feet thick, and it's 30 feet high and 80 feet wide. Well, how do you move it? With the chains. Yeah, I'm running the chains because you pull on the chains and it runs the wheels and the gears and shit. It slowly opens. I mean, for the amount of time I've been talking about opening, it would have moved about 2 inches. And he stands like, it's taking you long enough to open this door. And I'm thinking, he goes, why don't you have electrical for this door? Oh, I don't know, because the place is going to take a nuke 5 minutes into the war. You know, that was we do. We had bombers slated to hit us before the fucking war actually started. I mean, when people wonder why I can talk shit about Tim Pool not knowing anything about nuclear weapons, oh, I don't know. They were my fucking life. They were everything for me for like 5 years. Open the bunker door. And I said, this right here is 1/3 of the 5.56 ammo for 8th Infantry Division. And he's just staring. Okay, remember that scene with the warehouse in Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
Yes.
Imagine that, only it's boxes of 5.56 stacked to the rafters.
I'd be in heaven.
And just enough room to drive a forklift down it and move a pallet down it. And I looked at him, I said, so we're going to knock this out in about an hour, hour and a half? And he's like, how many bunkers are like this? Over 100. And he goes, I'm Camo. I'm like, yes, you are. He goes, what do we do? I said, well, if you want to inventory the site, the last inventory we took us 30 days. And that means you'll be out here the whole time, living in a tent. He's like, when was the last time you inventoried it? I was like, 3 months ago. He goes, well, that's good enough for me. And he went back up range. He got in his truck and he drove away, and I never saw him again.
Wow.
That's great.
He was like, well, it's good enough for me. And he went back, he got in his truck, and I never saw him again. It was great. I loved it. Yeah, and everybody's like, who was the officer? I was like, I don't know, some asshole. He said he was our platoon leader. We have a platoon leader? I don't fucking know. Get back to work. Oh, it was a fucking clusterfuck.
Well, isn't that kind of the natural state of the military?
At the time, yeah, it was organized. It was semi-organized chaos.
Hey guys, I gotta get
Oh yeah,
going.
we should call it a night.
Yeah.
No, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I will say one thing. I did something that the Army would never let people do nowadays. I spent over a year without ever going back to my unit.
Oh,
I spent
wow.
an entire year at the site.
Damn.
So I had no idea who was in charge of my unit. Yep. So good night. Don't step on any
Good
dicks,
night,
anybody.
everyone. Hey,
Good
buy
night,
our books.
everybody.
Links in
Yes,
the description.
you'll enjoy them.
Yep.